Hello everyone, and welcome to The Mortuary. I am the Mortician. And today I wanted to talk about something that I thought I had talked about before, but I actually haven't yet. And that's, has music gotten worse as time has progressed? It's funny because the only reason I'm making this video is because on Discord we were starting to have this conversation, and I'm like, this is way too complicated. Realistically, a lot of people who have this conversation don't care enough about music to realistically analyze it the way that it needs to. And that's even music critics. And that's not to say that they're stupid or that they're misinformed or that they're uninformed. I just think that this conversation is so unimportant that we're just let it slide by. A lot of us dudes who have been listening to music for a long time, like myself, Razor Fist, Anthony Van, those types of dudes, those big dudes, we've all kind of been listening to music for so long in such an impassioned way. We don't really give thought to the generation battle, at least not myself. I very seldom ever think to myself, damn, things were better back then. But when people bring it up to me, I have to think. I think that a lot of what's going on is that not necessarily music has gotten worse, but that music listener standards have dropped so much. And it's not even their own fault. I want to go back to the 70s, to the 80s, before we really had readily available computers in our homes and all of that. If you wanted to have your stuff played on the radio, you couldn't just throw a tape recorder into the band room, which is your mom's garage, and play and get that shit played on the radio. There was actually a financial barrier that you had to overcome. You had to actually go to a studio and pay for that time, or know somebody who owns a studio and go and pay for that time. Pay for your fucking time. I hope you did. But at the very least, buy us a beer if you're gonna drink there. Fuck you. But my point is that there used to be a financial barrier there. So there's a lot of shit in the 70s and the 80s that you just flat out would never hear unless you happened to be at the right place at the right time and found these cassettes that they had made in their basement or something. Nowadays that's not the case. The financial barrier has dropped so much, and the not only has the financial barrier dropped so much, okay, but the barrier between a musician and the fan has dropped. There's nothing. There's not even a wall there anymore between things like Bandcamp and SoundCloud and YouTube and all these other different services that allow us musicians to just throw whatever the fuck we want into the ether. A lot of shit is coming to the surface that in the 70s and the 80s would have never even seen the light of day. Okay, so let me put it to you this way. Back in the 70s, I don't have the numbers, so we'll just throw a number out there. It would cost you $100 an hour at a studio, just random fucking number. I could look up the actual details, but fuck you, that's not the point, because my point is, I can go right now on Amazon, maybe not Walmart, but Amazon, Guitar Center, Sweetwater, even hell, Facebook Marketplace, okay? I can find a DAW, a microphone, proper open headset, open back headset for studio monitoring, all that for less than $100. So you're talking about if you're thrifty enough right now, you can literally accrue shitloads of gear because it's so pervasive now, because everybody who wanted to be a musician can be a musician now, and they're not asking themselves whether or not they should be. So it leads to this big proliferation of a lot of, I don't even know how to say this, different sounds ranging from really good and cutting edge and I don't know if you want to say breakthrough kind of stuff to the absolute ass, the poopy butthole of music. And it's just laid bare for you. But you're basically dealing with a thing of there's no wall anymore. There's no filter. There's nobody standing there and going, maybe you guys should just not. Now it's, why not? Why not? I got $40. Terry's got fucking $10. You got fucking $30. We'll just fucking throw it together and get a little studio going. No. So now you have this unfettered access to all this shit that just constantly comes. It's like social media, constantly comes, just constantly beating you over the head, bang, bang, bang. This band's doing this man's doing that. And what ends up happening is you get a lot of bands that see shit bands doing something that has like maybe some okay ideas within it, copying that shit, and you get way more generic shit based on the bad shit that already came before, because the people who came after think they can do it so much better, and there's just nothing separating the people who do not need to hear trap gore grind. They find it and they're just going for it. Back to the financial barrier. You wanted to play guitar, shit was mad expensive back in the day. You had to actually work really hard for it. I'm not saying that guitars are exactly cheap, but if you wanted to get started, you could do that super easy on Facebook Marketplace or eBay or whatever. You can find guitars for like literally $20 and they sound at least okay enough for a dude who doesn't know any better, and he's just gonna go, well, that's how I sound, that's part of my sound, don't you like it? That's my problem. So it's not even necessarily that music has gotten worse, it's that we have just allowed the standard to just drop because we've allowed everybody to do whatever the fuck they want. And that's not to say that you shouldn't be creative and that you should stop doing what you're doing, because I'm going to tell you another secret that both sides aren't going to tell you. You have to suck. You have to suck dick before you're good at anything. Name me one fucking thing in your life you're good at. You had to learn to walk, bro. You had to, as a human being, something you do every single day for like 20, like I'm 28, so I've been walking naturally for like 26 fucking years. I had to learn to do that. Okay? And that's another thing, is I wish people would stop trying to say like this generation's music isn't that bad, because it kind of is. Because they and what gets me is that they have a chance to actually improve if we just say that and let that be how it is. Because realistically, if we just keep saying like, yeah, every generation's music is bad, but no, we didn't have to put up with it before. You had to go out of your way to put up with it before. Now it's just everywhere. And that's what I really want people to get to like really understand. Okay? And I want to bring up a point that somebody in my server brought up. Like, you can say country music nowadays sucks dick all day, which is true. I hate to say it. It's true. A lot of soul is gone because nobody struggles anymore. They just fucking live, they just retreat into a shell that's like barren. Like, they don't have anything to retreat to. But country music has taken a big shit, but nobody complains when that's said. But for when we get a lot more general and see the same kind of commercialization, but you kind of understand what I'm saying. Like, it stops sounding like Johnny Cash and like Hank Williams, and it's just started to sound like more. It honestly sounds more like pop than country, and that's what country is. And that's happening a lot. Black metal is losing its identity because we keep allowing this argument to go on without putting a definitive end to it. You can make whatever copes you want, but that's exactly what it is, dude. It's cope. When you say like, oh, there was bad music before, or blah, 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 yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Nobody's saying that there wasn't bad music before. What we're saying is, I have to deal with it now, and it's your fucking fault for consistently protecting it. You can have your cake and eat it too. Like, not for nothing, but imagine the potential that all of these artists could have if you just let us say what we need to say and you joined in and said, yeah, dude, honestly, the way that this fucking genre's direction is going is really fucking bad, because it's obvious. Like, not for nothing, I do not want like black metal become another fucking country music. I don't want death metal to become another country music or industrial or any of these genres, any genre. Look what happened to country because people just let it happen. People were screaming about it forever about how bad it is, and now it's literally the most, like, it's got to be one of the most used phrases in a general sense in music. That modern country sucks. We can stop that, but we have to be a lot more critical than we are. Okay? And you might be wondering, where the fuck does that leave you? I hope that didn't leave anything, in the mist. I'll just say it outright. I think shit has gotten worse in a very weird way. In a viewership way, it had. But my point is, there's just a very obvious different quality, and that's okay. It's okay, because as long as we admit that, we can forge it and be better. Even if we say that, yeah, sure, the mainstream landscape is a lot worse, but the underground's better, I'm satisfied with that too. But we really have to be more honest with ourselves than we've been in just every facet of our lives, and especially when it comes to art, because guess what? That's a reflection of the soul, dude. You should be taking that way more fucking seriously than you do. This is just a bunch of rambling bullshit. I've been your boy, the douchebag, in the shades, inside. Peace out, brothers. Have a good one.